Hello everyone, my name is Ryan Huff and this is Kona Qualified, where I talk about relative to life topics with the goal of making us better together and encouraging you to make your life magnificent. This week's topic is how to handle disappointment. Let's rock and roll. So disappointment is a pretty fresh topic in my mind, in my life today. Recently, actually I still have the wristband on, November 19th, 2017, I took part in a 140.6 mile race. It's a triathlon referred to as IRONMAN Arizona. And this was an incredible event for me. It had been an event that I had actually registered for last year in 2016 whenever I flew into Tempe, Arizona, where the race is held, and volunteered as a bike handler in order to be granted early access to registration for 2017. Because this race is super popular. It's a flat, fast course, and the atmosphere is incredible. Weather's typically always great. In Arizona, it's just dry, and the weather is always beautiful, except for 2015 when it was rainy and cold. But anyways, I registered for this race, trained all year for it, and was super pumped for this race. And it was going to be an incredible day. I was going to go under 13 hours. I was going to have a PR. I was going to run a great marathon. Blah blah blah. All this kind of stuff, right? And so leading up into the race, I went into it with just super excited about it. I thought I had my nutrition all dialed in. I thought I had everything all good. And around mile 10 of the marathon, after swimming 2.4 miles, after biking 112, and sticking to my race plan, my nutrition plan on the bike to make sure my marathon was good, after 10 miles into the marathon, everything fell apart. And it was tough, and it was super duper tough because I had put so much effort into this. I had invested so much, time, but also money, and I had driven from Texas to Arizona to do this race. And whenever it all fell apart around mile 10, it was demoralizing. To be honest, let's be frank. I mean, when you do something that's you've invested so much time in, well over a year, invested so much monetary value in, and had the support of friends and family and people that have been following me on Instagram as well, that I consider my friends there as well, you have a certain level of expectation that you expect to fulfill to make those people proud, because that's what we live for, right? To make the people around us proud of what we're doing, what we're accomplishing, the life we're creating. And I'd pride myself in being a super, positive, just energetic, passionate guy about life. And after mile 10 of the marathon, it was kicked in the gut. And it was just a whirlwind of emotion. And I was, so I had to, I tried to just shuffle along, try to keep a, slow jog. I couldn't do it. My stomach was starting to get really upset, and I couldn't take any food, even though I knew I needed to eat, but I couldn't eat because my stomach was so upset. And I had noticed there was so much salt on my kit, on my race kit, that there was a lot more salt than normally was. And I was just so, anyways, after like 5 or 6 miles of that, or getting around mile 20 of the race, I passed by an aid station, and there was a young lady there, a sweet lady, who was just, a volunteer. And so I passed by the aid station. I visualized this. So normally super passionate, energetic guy, always this and that. And I'm walking by this aid station, and it's getting cold at this point. It's like 7, 8, 9 o'clock at night, something like that. I think it was around 7 o'clock, 6, 7 o'clock, something like that. Anyways, I passed by this aid station. It's getting cold at this point. And I have my arms crossed like this, trying to keep, like this more so, trying to keep my hands warm, trying to keep warm all together. And I passed by the station like this, just walking. Literally, head down, eyes forward to the ground, no motion, or I guess motion was shown from nonverbal cues, but just looking at the ground. And this young lady looks at me and says, I vaguely remember her face, but because I actually looked at her as I kind of gave her a death stare looking back now. So if you're watching this, I apologize, whoever you are. But anyway, so I just look at her, and she's like smiling, and I just go, and all of a sudden it hit me. The emotions I was feeling at that moment leading up to this, guys, were, I was livid. I mean, I was so mad because I had invested so much time into this race, and it all had been for nothing, I was thinking. And this is the thoughts that I'm getting in my head. We'll get to, what I decided, what the other Ryan that showed up after this. I was just super livid from the fact that I wasn't having the race I was expecting to have. I was confused as to why I was not having the race I wanted to have. I was confused. I was like, where did I miss this? How did I miss this race? I put so much time into it. I trained. I did this and that. I had every indication that the day I was going to have was going to meet my reality. I had every expectation to have that. And I had every justification to know that it was. I mean, I had done the miles. I had logged the miles. I had the paces that I know I needed to have. All of this. And so there was, angry, and there was confused, and then there was this emotion of just wanting to cry, because I was sad at this point too. I was like, where did I miss this race? So anyways, after this girl says, hey, smile, and I don't even acknowledge her, which is not like me. If you don't know me personally, I'm super energetic, super just, love connecting with new people, like a social butterfly, which is diametrically opposed to where I was just a year ago, a little over a year ago now. And I don't even acknowledge her. I just keep on walking. And after I get past the aid station, I just start crying. And it was tough, man. I'm trying to keep it together so I don't. But it was tough, man. I started crying. I'm just walking. I'm just like, and it was this, like I said, whirlwind of emotion. And then finally, I just broke. And I'm like, how did I miss this race? What did I do? Like, even briefly considered returning all the merchandise I had bought from the IRONMAN Village store. Like all the shirts that I had bought, the swim cap that I bought from IRONMAN Arizona, all this stuff, and literally just quitting the race right then and driving home and just calling it quits, and maybe possibly deleting my Instagram account and all this kind of jazz. Whenever you're in not the right mental state of mind, you start having these kind of ridiculous thoughts. And so that's what was going through my mind. Fortunately, though, the Ryan Huff that looks at the world through a positive perspective, that knows that life is beautiful, that lives his life in a way that would inspire someone, that pushes himself every day to become better every day, and knows he is qualified with purpose to achieve anything that he wants in this world, and that is super happy, super passionate about life, showed up. And I started thinking about Gary Vaynerchuk. And if you don't listen to Gary, just be warned, he's pretty strong, but what he says, he's so passionate because I feel he legitimately cares about impacting your life in a positive way. He showed up in my mind, and he said, you know what, I feel that people just lack perspective. He said, people just complain about getting the wrong amount of, free, extra, what was he said that they're getting the wrong amount of extra whipped cream on their, $5 Starbucks coffee. And whenever they complain about that, whenever there's so many other things that are going on in life that are so far worse than that. And I stopped, I didn't stop, but I was stopped in my brain for a second. I kept walking, and I just kind of laughed at that. And I was like, you know what? What's good in this situation? And I literally stopped and asked myself that question. I was talking to myself out loud a little bit, which is probably good that no one was around at this point of the race, because they'd probably been like, nah, this guy's nuts. Anyway, so I stopped and I talked to myself out loud. I'm like, all right, what's good in this situation? And I'm like, well, I still have a body that's able to compete in triathlon, to participate in triathlon. I've met phenomenal people. I've had an amazing experience. I mean, the people I met during this time were incredible. I mean, I met so many phenomenal people. I mean, just to name a few, we have Kimberly Von During, we have Elise, we have Ashley, we have Tamron, we have Kim, we have Taylor, we have, Brian, we have Kyla. I got to meet Lionel Sanders, and I got to meet Heather Jackson, two professional triathletes who are phenomenal people, and I look up to so much in the triathlon community. Not to mention the people that I met outside of those people were phenomenal as well. So, and then I got to reconnect with a friend of mine, Dietrich Colhane. And so that's like, guys, there are so many good things. I started thinking about this stuff. I'm like, there are so many good things that happened during this race, not even on race day, but leading up into it. And I started thinking to myself, man, you're going to go to the Grand Canyon after this, and Horseshoe Bend, and see the beauty that this two places that are just incredibly incredibly beautiful that this world has in store. And I started just essentially reframing the situation. And after that, I cried for a little bit. This probably lasted maybe 5, 10, 15 minutes, something like that. And I finally reframed the situation. I'm like, you know what? We're going to learn from this. And there's so much good in the situation. And we're going to just keep our head up. I never even considered quitting. Well, actually, I did consider quitting. It was like a little brief thought, and then it partially went out. But fortunately, the right Ryan showed up. And after I realized, all right, man, you're not gonna be able to go under sub 13. You're gonna run another 5-hour marathon. After I accepted it, I was like, all right, well, hey, life goes on, But that's what makes a difference, guys. How you choose to respond to adversity and how you choose to respond to disappointment. Because disappointment is going to come. I mean, that's just an inevitability of life. You're going to experience disappointment. Refer to it as adversity, right? That's going to happen. But one way to combat disappointment is to go in without having any expectations as well. Because if you don't have any expectations, you just go in and appreciate the moment. You go in with the appreciation for how you got there, the things that you learned, the things that you did, or whatever it is that got you to this point. If you can appreciate that and then do what you need to do and execute or whatever it is, and then anything else that comes of it is just icing on the cake, that's great. If I had gone into Ironman Arizona, with that perspective, I would have had such a better race, such a better experience. But I'm fortunate that everything happened exactly how it did. Obviously, I would have liked to have a better race, but I am glad that this race happened exactly the way it did, because everything happens for a reason, I firmly believe. And this race, I feel like, needed to happen for me to alter my expectations of what racing was. I needed to go into there every single time I towed the line being grateful that I was able to participate in this race, being grateful to have a body that is able to participate in triathlon, that I have eyes I can see, ears I can hear, hands, feet that function appropriately, that have internal organs that function appropriately. So the best way to combat, the best way to deal with disappointment is to shift your perspective. It's to shift your expectations. It's to not have any expectations if you can, and learn to appreciate every moment. But it's also shift your perspective, because the moment I was able to shift my perspective on that race and I started asking myself empowering questions, that's when my day started to turn around. Obviously, I was enjoying the whole day up until that point. I was like, man, I got off the bike. I was like, dude, if I can just hold an 8 to 9 minute pace, which I know I'm capable of, I can go under 13. I'm like, dude, I can get close to going 12 hours. I was like, holy cow, all these, I was like, man, it's gonna be great. And I started out the first 10 miles and I was running 8 to 9:30 pace, and I was like, man, I'm gonna do it, yeah. And then it happened. I was like, oh crap, So anyways, guys, but just learn to shift your perspective whenever times get tough. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that you should just, drown your sorrows, drown your pain, not experience them. No. It's healthy to experience that pain. It's healthy to experience that sorrow. But you have to shift your perspective. You have to shift your perspective to one that empowers you instead of one that disempowers you. One that looks at the good and what is there that's positive in the situation, versus one that doesn't look to the good. The one that looks at completely focuses on the bad and what disempowers you in that situation. So learn to shift your perspective. Shifting your perspective and living a life with no expectations. That's the best way that I know to battle disappointment, because in my race that I trained a year for, invested a lot of money in, whenever times got tough, I mean, I had my time to weep, I had my time to be mad, I had my time to be confused, but ultimately I decided to change my perspective. I shifted my expectation, and it made it all the better from that. Now, granted, whenever you fail, whenever you experience that disappointment, that failure, because it failed to meet your expectation, right? Learn from it. There's an education in every failure. You'll find me one successful person that has never failed. Point them out. I dare you. It's not going to happen, because no one got to be successful in any area of their life by not failing. You have to fail in order to succeed. You have to aim high to rise. So, there's a quote by Napoleon Hill. I was going with that, but I forgot the part. Anyways, you're gonna have to fail in order to get to where you're going. Rick Brigsby, I heard him talking about recently in one of his quotes, in one of his I want to say it was a motivational talk that he did at a university, I think. He said his dad would always say to them, "Son, I won't have an issue if you aim high and miss. We're gonna have a real issue if you aim low and hit." So always aim high. Always aim to be the best version of yourself every single day. Always aim to go for your goals and go for your dreams. But whenever your dreams and goals aren't met immediately, whenever you go out for something and it doesn't happen the way you wanted it to, learn to not go into it with expectations. Learn that you know you prepared the best way that you could for that day and for that task. Enjoy every moment. Live, laugh, thrive. Enjoy it. And whenever it doesn't happen the way you wanted it to, learn to shift your perspective. In that moment, look for the good and grow in that situation, and that'll make all the difference. So whenever disappointment comes, that's gonna happen, but hey, be excited because you can shift your perspective and learn from the situation and grow from it and come out better and stronger the second time around. So anyways, I really hope this encouraged you. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, like it, subscribe to this channel. Like I said, I enjoy making these videos with the purpose of encouraging y'all, making us better together, and ultimately making this world a better place together. So share this video out, like it, and I'm sure you saw my Instagram handle, going on the screen here and there. Please follow me on Instagram for daily motivation, daily inspiration, and look forward to seeing you next time. Have an amazing day as always. See ya.